And now for the Mays Eagles. Now for the starters. Number 10, center fielder, Nick Gocking. Number 32, pitcher, Jordan Jakubov.
Growing up, both of my brothers were big into baseball as well as many other sports. It was something I was around on a daily basis. They both ended up playing their baseball careers in college. One was at Wichita State and one was here at the University of Kansas. I was privileged in high school to travel all around the nation to play against some of the top teams. For the most part, it was pretty smooth going. We had a great few teams along the way while I was pitching. Numbers were good. It wasn't until middle of the summer and I was down playing in Texas, and I was cruising through the game. You know, everything was going fine. Real warm weather. You know, arm felt great. And next thing I know, I throw a pitch to the guy, and I feel a pop right in my elbow. And your initial thought is, you know, nothing's wrong. It's scar tissue. I've been throwing all my life. You know, this isn't happening to me. Kind of look over at the coach. He, you know, kind of like sitting there rubbing my arm, don't really know what it is, and he looked at me and he asked if I needed a trainer, and I, you know, being kind of young and naive, I told him to stay in the dugout, and I went to attempt to throw my next pitch, and the pitch before that was around 90 miles an hour, and the next one they clocked me at was 72 miles an hour, and it was right down the middle, and the guy ended up putting a good swing on it, sent it to the fence, and we ended up losing because of that pitch. But it wasn't until I came here in August to Dr. Stahl right up the road, and he ended up diagnosing my MRI as a clean UCL tear, and told me that my career was going to have a little speed bump in it at that point in time. Rehab with UCL replacement, or Tommy John as people call it, is, you know, it's a 15 to 18 month process depending on how the person comes back from it. You always think when you get something like that for the first time, it's, can I come back from this? Can I get to the point I was at before when things were going good? Can I get mentally back to where I was before without having this in the back of my mind every time I throw a baseball?
You know, everything seemed to be going fine, and then about 12 months in, typically when somebody's returning from this injury, returning to competition, he started having pain on the lateral side of his elbow, which is opposite of where the surgery happened. And about 18 months into it, I said to Jordan, I go, you need to go back to your surgeon because this isn't going well, and you know, we're 6 months past where you should have been on the mound by now, and we need to get another opinion.
I get down there, and I mean, as bluntly as he could put it, he just flat out came in with the MRI and said, this isn't the best Christmas gift I can give you, but you retore your ligament, it blew out on you, it didn't take, you're gonna need surgery again, plus a couple other things, cleaning up on the backside of your elbow. It's probably the lowest point I've ever been in my life.
It was a struggle. It was a struggle for both of us because, you know, obviously he wanted to be back on the mound. I thought I'd done everything that we could, and like I said, I'd called many colleagues throughout the country to try to figure out if there was anything else that could be done, and we were doing those things, and he just wasn't getting any better. So that's when it was time to go back to the surgeon.
Well, you know, I've been coaching 34 years, and I've never met a young man that has had to go through 2 Tommy John surgeries. The first one's difficult enough, but the adversity that you face when you've gone through the rehab program, you go in and have your year checkup with your doctor, and when you find out that the surgery was not successful, it can be a devastating setback, both physically and mentally, to any athlete.
It was a long, grueling process. It was the same. I remember looking at K-Dub and I said, are we really going through this again? I was like, are you ready? I mean, I'm not gonna quit on you if you don't quit on me. And, you know, just to be able to have a trainer that, you know, that doesn't give up on you and is there for you every day too, it really helped me.
After Jordan's second Tommy John surgery, we felt it was really important that he went out in the summer and had an opportunity to play a lot of games over the 3 months so that he could make up for the reps that he had missed the 2 previous years when he was out with his injury.
Really, for the first time in my career, I felt like my arm was back. Getting all those innings under my belt and getting all my pitches back was really a huge step for me, and it got me back on track to where I was before. Being able to put on a uniform every day for the University of Kansas is definitely something I never take for granted. I'm very grateful to be back competing for Coach Price and actually paying him back for everything that that he's given me in my career here.
One of the things that I admire so much about Jordan is there's not a more positive individual, more enthusiastic individual in our program than him. And when you see a young man fight through that kind of adversity, you talk about earning respect. I don't know if there's any way to go about gaining the respect of your teammates and your coaching staff in such a manner that Jordan's gone through. I mean, I have incredible respect for all the adversity he's faced in his career and how much he continues to work and what a great teammate he is and how much he still enjoys playing this great game.
It really was kind of an emotional moment for me. I hugged Coach Graves after, hugged Ken after, everybody behind the scenes of what I've gone through, who helped me through this whole thing, talking to my parents on the phone. It was a big achievement for me, and I think that's really what a lot of players who go through surgery need to keep in mind, is that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and just to keep in mind all the great times you had while you were competing. Just keep those in mind while you're going through rehab, while you're going through all your tough days. When you start to get down on yourself, just think about everything that got you to the point where you're at, and keep in mind that you are good at what you do, and you will be good at what you do again. My name is Jordan Jakubov. Throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, but I'm more than a number.